Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, the city holds a public workshop on AB 109. We'll bring you the details.
Then distracted driving covers a lot of ground. We'll tell you if you're guilty.
Plus, kids and parents enjoy breakfast with a famous bunny.
And 2 volunteer groups join forces to bring hats and happiness to children. These stories and much more are just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now.
Hello everyone and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Malavika Gangolly.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. Well, it passed through Sacramento and was implemented throughout California without much incident. But now counties are paying closer attention to AB 109. Reporter Alexa Sita tells us about the recent public workshop that explained how the plan could affect Torrance.
It represents the most significant change to sentencing and corrections in our lifetime.
Chief New is talking about the Criminal Justice Realignment Plan, or AB 109. At the recent public workshop, New shared some of the plan's details. Put into effect in October of last year, this plan for managing non-serious, non-violent, non-sexual offenders removes the burden from the struggling state and puts it squarely on the shoulders of counties and ultimately cities. The plan calls for changing the sentencing guidelines for certain crimes and parole revocations. Offenders who commit crimes that fall under one of the 3 nons will no longer be sent to state prison, but instead sent to county jails. Those eligible for state parole will now be on county probation, and if they violate probation, they won't return to state prison, but will be sent back to a county jail.
Part of the reason we're having this release, the realignment, is because the state prisons are overcrowded. I mean, part of it is a budget issue, but the biggest reason is the overcrowding in state prisons. Isn't that right?
Yes.
About 150,000 inmates were housed in the state's 33 prisons, designed for a capacity of about 80,000. The state is on track to meet its goal of reducing the total population to 110,000 inmates by May of 2013. But overcrowding in county jails could become an issue as well. And while the county plans to send some of the triple non-inmates to fire camps, alternative housing, substance abuse programs, or plans to utilize electronic monitoring, the Sheriff's Department says that with these new inmates, operational capacity at county jails may be reached this summer.
Well, when they're released, it's their current violation. And if it's a non-violent violation, regardless of the subject's criminal history, it only pertains to the current charge, which is nonviolent.
And that may be the most troubling part of the state's plan. Prior criminal history cannot be used under AB 109, so criminals with serious convictions in their past may receive probation or sentences similar to someone with a purely nonviolent record.
In October of 2011, the state and counties implemented AB 109. Unfortunately, it wasn't phased in or staggered.
Torrance police see this as a citizen safety issue. In turn, Mayor Scotto cited the importance of securing resources for Torrance PD, although he lamented the fact that many of Torrance's surrounding cities may not have the resources to do the same. And residents can expect AB 109 to become a part of the city's upcoming budget discussions. At the end of the public workshop, Mayor Scotto said Torrance will have to find a way to hire more police officers. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Alexa Sita.
Thanks, Alexa. The AB 109 workshop was televised right here on CitiCABLE prior to the weekly council meeting. Now, to see the workshop in its entirety, visit the city's website at torranceca.gov.
After the AB 109 workshop, Council held a brief meeting in Chambers. April 8th through April 14th is National Library Week in the City of Torrance. Council is reminding residents to take full advantage of all the resources available at Torrance public libraries. During the recession, libraries have become increasingly more important in the community. Nationally, 70% of libraries report increased use of public computers, and more than half of all libraries report an increase in the use of electronic resources. And when you're visiting a library, thank a librarian for their help. April 10th was National Library Workers' Day in the city.
Talk about a big change. County Assessor John Neguez drastically and at the last minute lowered his estimate of how much revenue can be expected from property taxes this year. In December, Neguez forecast revenue would increase by more than $18 billion, but last week he slashed that estimate by about 2/3 to just over $5 billion. The county will receive about $50 million less than it had previously expected, and everyone who receives a portion of the county's property tax revenue will have to scale back, including cities and school districts. But Neguez says don't blame him. Blame the continued drop in real estate. He says the market didn't rebound as much as was anticipated. Before dealing with this new economic blow, county officials say they will audit the assessor and his findings.
Well, if you've ever spoken to a hybrid car owner, you might notice how they may feel slightly superior to traditional car owners. And of course, they are proud of their contribution to the environment. But according to a new study, that doesn't seem to make these car owners any more loyal. When U.S. hybrid owners went shopping for a new car, only 35% of them chose to purchase another hybrid. One major reason, some consumers don't find these cars to be cost-effective after all. A hybrid's retail price is usually thousands of dollars more than a conventional vehicle. Toyota, whose Prius is the country's best-selling hybrid, disputed the study's findings. They say that at least 60% of Toyota hybrid owners in the market for a new car bought another Toyota. Well, coming up, we'll show you which businesses have the Torrance advantage.
And we'll tell you why putting your phone in your car's glove box is a good idea.
I believe that home is where your pet is.
And that loving an animal means never giving up on them, never letting them go.
I believe that when you spay or neuter your pets, you help decrease the number of homeless animals.
Because every dog and cat deserves a place to call home.
I believe that I found my best friend at a shelter. And you can too.
We believe that together with Best Friends Animal Society,
we can bring about a time when there are no more homeless pets.
Visit ambassadors.bestfriends.org.
The strongest families are built one moment at a time. For more ways to make every day count, visit facebook.com/makeeverydaycount.
It's from a place of love that I became an activist. It is just a fabulous area, full of life. It's one of the few areas of temperate old-growth forest left on the planet. In the early 90s, it looked like all of the intact forest would be clear-cut logged, and it was very devastating to think of that possibility. So it was quite a pivotal time right then to take action when we did.
1/3 of the massive Great Bear rainforest will now be protected from all logging. We're talking about an area the size of Switzerland.
Having the Great Bear rainforest protected now really means a lot to our community. I would say we're part of the environment just like the animals are. The greatest thing that I enjoy is seeing a total stranger respect this area. We're hoping that years down the line, this place will still be looking the same as it does right now.
Easter Sunday was recently celebrated here in Torrance, and families continued a tradition of breakfast with a very special bunny. Reporter Ella Sagamonian has the story.
Who said the Easter Bunny doesn't exist? Kids get a chance today to take a picture with the elusive rabbit to prove their friends wrong.
The kids are always excited to come in. They come running in at the very beginning, and then when the bunny comes, they just lose their mind.
The Easter Bunny sure got a lot of love as families lined up one by one to capture the special moment.
It's really fun because you get to sit on his lap and they take pictures.
And moms, dads, and grandparents all enjoyed the Easter Bunny breakfast just as much, if not more, than the kids.
This is a great event for the kids, and I think they should do it every year, and more parents should bring their kids. It's a wonderful time for them.
Families savored eggs, pancakes, bacon, and farmers market strawberries as names were drawn for a raffle.
Your name got picked?
My name
right?
got picked from the...
And you did the shuffle.
Kids also got excited by a bunny hop race, an Easter egg hunt, and an interactive pup show, which featured characters Ballerina and Scooter. For dessert, families got creative by decorating their own cookies.
I'm just making little stripes, and I'm going to make some because I want it to be festive like Easter.
More than 100 guests enjoyed their breakfast with the Easter Bunny, which for some wasn't the first.
I like going here. It's really fun. We usually go every year since I was 4.
It's a tradition, you know, and I'm a tradition guy, so I love coming out here and watching the Easter Bunny come out and the kids enjoy.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Ella Sogomonian.
Thanks, Ella. More than 100 guests attended this annual event.
The Torrance economy has beat many odds during the recession. One aspect of that success comes from the resilient business community. So in a display of gratitude, the city recognized some of their contributions. Reporter Ella Sogomonian takes us to their annual Torrance Advantage Awards.
Tonight, prominent business leaders of Torrance will walk down this red carpet in an event that'll truly make them feel like stars. Guests dressed to a T at this year's event, themed the Business Stars, where past and present winners mingled with the creme de la creme of the Torrance business community. To add to the elegance, guests enjoyed hors d'oeuvres and wine before the ceremony as a harp player strummed in the background. The Hales Academy Choir opened up for the Torrance Advantage Awards, where council members indeed shook it up as they recognized a mix of both small privately owned businesses and large corporations in Torrance.
We do try to show that diversity from, a mom and pop type of business that's a photography studio like tonight to American Honda Motor Corporation. So we do try to show a diversity of what's exemplifies what's here in Torrance.
And both mom and pop Cheryl and Gary Zimmerman of Old Torrance Coffee and Tea took home the Quality of Life Award, which recognizes businesses that improve Torrance through product and service.
Area musicians and writers gather here, as well as artists who are allowed to display their work at Old Torrance Coffee and Tea.
The South Bay YMCA also accepted the award for improving the quality of life of Torrance since 1946.
It provides a wide range of things from health and fitness to day camp to summer camps to child care and senior luncheon programs, and it just has a wide variety of programs that serve really over 32,000 different individuals every year.
The People to People Award, given for innovative ways businesses enhance employment opportunities, was presented to small business owner Christy Langley, whose 5-year-old Baby Cakes baking company was featured on the Food Network's Cupcake Wars. Her bakery gives high school students a learning experience in a working environment.
My job is to mentor them, teach them how to be a good employee, how to be there on time, responsibility, working with others, all of that kind of good stuff that's important to know when you go out to get your first job.
Cali Services also took home the People to People Award. The company has been providing global workforce solutions since 1946, helping more than 500,000 people annually find jobs.
It's been amazing for me to see what my company has done over the years since 2009 to come up with new strategies to get people back to work.
Another national company, Travelodge, won the Enriching the Community Award for helping increase the city's revenue and tax base. Although the budget motel comes from a chain, look closer and you will find it belongs to a local family who is grateful to live and work in Torrance.
Our location is wonderful. We are right next to Wilson Park, very near Delamo Mall. The Torrance Beach is always a big attraction for people visiting the South Bay. And then, of course, our location between, major attractions like Disneyland and Universal Studios. It's that place that everyone can stay and they can hit everything in Los Angeles.
From small to big, real estate giant Continental Development Corporation, who is responsible for constructing commercial and entertainment sites, was also recognized in the same category. The largest contrast has to be between the two winners of the Long-Term Investor Award, which gives praise to the long-term success and commitment to investing in the economic development of Torrance. Karen Baker of American Honda Motor Company accepted the award alongside independent photographer Joey Ikimoto, who started his business at 20 years old.
I started out of a garage and just kept on growing, and now it's a 6,000 square foot studio in historical downtown Torrance, and love the area. Great neighbors, great atmosphere in Torrance, great community.
In a city with more than 15,000 businesses, each year the Economic Development Department is presented with the challenge of choosing a select few. From small to large businesses, the results represent Torrance and its small town feel in a big city. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Ella Sogomonian.
Thanks, Ella. The 8 winners received $200 to use toward operational expenses, a letter of appreciation from Mayor Frank Scotto, and most importantly, bragging rights.
When we're driving, are we doing what's safe, or are we just seeing what we can get away with? Reporter TK Trinidad finds out that driving safety means following all of the rules of the road.
Distracted Drivers Awareness Month occurs every April, and really it's just an opportunity for traffic divisions and law enforcement to pay extra attention to doing enforcement on distracted drivers.
This month, law enforcement won't hand out more tickets, but they will ask people to be mindful of the consequences of distracted driving. As drivers, we all know that texting and driving is illegal, but we do it anyway.
For the last few years now, we have seen a decrease, I would say, for the officers that come out here and focus on those things, but there's still a large majority of motorists that are doing it still.
Texting or talking behind the wheel is a huge distraction and the cause of many accidents, but so is putting on makeup, eating, or changing the radio station. And all of these things can lead to a ticket. If you need to talk on the phone, hands-free is the way to go.
It's a hands-free law, so if you remember you just can't have anything in your hands, you'll be okay.
We are all guilty of multitasking while on the road, and many of us have found creative ways to hide our texting and driving.
People tend to hide it more now while they're driving. They're not as obvious. They try to, put the phone down in their lap, and in some ways that could be a little more dangerous.
For those wondering if texting at a red light is okay, it's not. You can still get a ticket. To avoid being a distracted driver, Officer McDonald suggests you remove all temptation.
Leave the phone in the glove box.
The minimum cost of a ticket for people who text while driving is $159, while a second ticket violation starts at $279. For This Week in Torrance, I'm TK Trinidad.
For more information on distracted driving, visit the Office of Traffic Safety website at ots.ca.gov. Well, coming up, we'll tell you how special hats can bring happiness to children and to the volunteers who create them.
What if you could unleash your child's creativity while preparing them for a successful future? What if you could ignite your child's love of learning with one after-school program? What if that one program was easy and fun and taught critical thinking, teamwork, and communication? Destination Imagination is the one. Destination Imagination has been teaching kids teamwork, creativity, and problem solving for more than 25 years. Our students report increased ability to excel at school. Teachers report better attention and participation in our students. A major university study has documented how our students are ahead of others in creativity and innovation, skills that employers want and our future needs. To learn more about Destination Imagination, go to www.startateam.org and make Destination Imagination the one for you.
In a disaster, strong communities can be the key to survival. Your neighbors could be the ones your family turns to for immediate help. Professional emergency responders may not be able to reach everyone who needs help right away. So, share your skills and resources in advance and develop a neighborhood emergency plan. Connect with your neighbors. Be prepared to respond in an emergency. Find tools to develop your family and neighborhood plan at preparetorespond.org.
Oh, hi, Rosa.
Is it time for Mama to have our baby?
No, sweetie, it's time for you to get a checkup.
A checkup? Can I go, please?
The services of women in Children's Hospital are integrated into the new LAC USC Healthcare Network, where superior medical professionals provide clinical research and complete patient care for your community.
Ouch.
Our staff is dedicated to you and your family.
And finally, a special group of volunteers has teamed up with a nonprofit, and the result is happiness in the form of a hat. Reporter Ella Sagamonian explains.
This may look like a costume shop, but there's more to the hat than meets the eye. I'm here today at Happy Hats with Tim, Patrick, and Daniela, who are volunteers of the Easter Seal program and are actually responsible for putting smiles on thousands of kids' faces across Southern California. These 3 Easter Seals volunteers are mentally handicapped adults who come twice a week to Happy Hats. They press and package hero hats that are later distributed to children fighting cancer at 38 South Bay hospitals.
Every little child in the hospital is a little hero because they're very courageous and brave going through all the procedures that they go through in the hospital.
Hero hats have been bringing comfort and joy into hospital rooms since 1991.
It was just such a success, and all these kids had cancer, and they were having so much fun with the hats, and they were putting them on each other and on and off, and it was so adorable. And I said, you know, I think we have something here. We got to continue on. So from there, we have given 750,000 hats out to children and their families and the medical staff.
Happy Hats organization not only helps children in hospitals, but also provides an active role to the Easter Seals.
They want to feel also that they can also, they can practice or they can be involved in the society, in the community.
It is just absolutely adorable, and they laugh and they have such a great time. It's also very good for their motion skills when they are pressing the hats.
Along with the hero hat, the Easter Seals package a bilingual workbook including both English and Spanish.
It's 60 pages, and there's lots and lots of jokes and coloring pages and stimulating activities for both the parents and the children to interact together. And that's what I want. I want them to take their minds off of their discomfort.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Ella Sogomonian.
Thanks, Ella. Happy Hats welcomes the Easter Seals every week. Hero packages are given to kids in the cancer ward and to those in the emergency room. For more information, visit happyhatsforkids.org. And that's going to do it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain.
And I'm Malavika Gangolly. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.